I will be sharing nung experiences ko bilang staff officer, and that time I was the operations officer ni then Lieutenant Colonel Freddy T. De La Cruz of the 4th Scout Ranger Battalion. So again, yung kwento naman ito is we were in Maguindanao, Central Luzon, looking after ni Marwan. So yung scenario namin was nangyari yun before yung sa 44 na incident. And then dahil may sa Karatig na Island, yung Zamboanga was inattack ng yung mga rogue na MNLF. We were then airlifted from Cotabato City pabalik ng Zamboanga, and then dun sa Basilan ulit dahil medyo gumalaw na yung armadong grupo dun sa Basilan para mag-reinforce dun sa Zamboanga during that Zamboanga siege. So nangyari to was yung target namin is was somewhere in Onkayapukan. So that was 2013 I think yung time na yun. So merong report na may mga movement yung ASG going sa direction na parang Battalion CP namin pa westward. So kami bilang direct action dun sa island na yon, we were tasked para i-search and destroy yung mga armado na yan. And unfortunately, nung time na yon, medyo kalat-kalat yung tropa dahil nga most of the ranger units were deployed in Zamboanga. So yung 4th Scout Ranger Battalion, parang halos kami lang yung unit, yung special unit na nandun that time sa Basilan. And then during that battalion type of operation, meron akong dalawang company, yung 10th Scout Ranger Company under then Captain Cabalo, and the 11th Scout Ranger Company under then late Captain Camaso, both of PMA class 2005. And then ako nga yung operations officer. So nung time na yon, binigyan ko yung dalawang company commander ng bawat sektor. So yung 10 Scout Ranger Company, yung sector nila was on the left flank, and then yung 11 Scout Ranger Company was in sector tong kanan, yung right flank. So yung concept nito is para siyang double envelopment papunta doon. However, during the time, unang na-engage is yung 11 Scout Ranger Company. That time, nakausap ko pa sa radyo yung CEO nila, si late Captain Camaso, about doon sa situation sa harap. While kami ni then Batcom ko, si Lieutenant Colonel Freddy T. De La Cruz, dahan-dahang naghanap ng isang defensive position para makapag-command control ng maigi doon sa grupo. And then, na-monitor namin na yung reinforcement ng kalaban was easily increasing. So, ramdam namin yung putok nila, kumakapal ng kumakapal. And yung time na yon na na-engage kami, simula alas 11 ng umaga hanggang umabot kami ng almost 5 p.m. So, and yung weather pa nun is parang may bagyo, malakas yung ulan. And unfortunately, during that time, kaya di ko siya makakalimutan was kaya pala di ko na nakausap yung CEO ng 11 Scout Ranger Company was because he was fatally hit. Although naka-helmet siya, pero unfortunately tinamaan din siya sa ulo. So I said doon sa radio operator niya na naging kausap ko na noon na i-pull back dito si sir. So akala ko wounded lang. Actually yung call sign noon during sa radio was parang wounded lang. So SOP namin yan para hindi ma-demoralize yung tropa. And then nakita ko yung isang casualty. I wasn't thinking na si sir na pala yun kasi meron ding ibang tropa na tinamaan. Ngayon yung pagtanggal ko sa poncho was nakita ko talaga yung itsura ni sir. So during that time parang medyo lumuha talaga yung luha ko. And parang sabi ko, bawi tayo sir. Bawi tayo sir. So yun na yung time din na nag-request ako sa 10 Scout Ranger Company na i-reinforce yung 11th Scout Ranger Company. And at the same time, yung isang company namin na follow on reserve under kay then Lieutenant Colonel Captain Custodio, also of 2005, na mag-proceed na dun sa location namin para i-hand over nga yung mga casualty, ma-evac at padilim na ng padilim. And then naramdaman ko na medyo imbis na ninipis yung kalaban, lalong parang kumapal yung nila, yung putok. So I recommended dun kay then Batcom ko na baka pwede sir tayo, retrograde operation. Para nang sa ganun, yung casualty namin, kasi padami na ng padami, ma-preserve pa namin. And then plan the following night, then ulit for the following day, kung ano yung mas maganda. However, naging complicated yung situation dahil yung encounter site namin was malapit sa MILF na tinatawag nilang may area of temporary stay. So, alam naman natin na pag yung ASG sa may encounter, merong yung ibang mga rogue MILF members talaga na sumasama din sa laban. So, ganun yung nangyari sa amin. Napinta kasi kami. And to cut it short, yung mga lessons learned na nasabi ko was, unang-una, yung about dun sa terrain. About dun sa political views dun sa area na which is critical sa mga planning natin. Lalo na that time, merong ongoing na mga peace negotiation with the MILF. And with regards dun sa tactics, medyo nagkumpiyansa lang konti dahil yung ibang tropa that time was very aggressive. So, yung ginawa kasi ng kalaban, parang may nagpapahabol lang, may nagpapakita. And nung nag-leapfrogging na sila, nag-bound overwatch, meron silang hindi napansin na mga bahayan, konkreto, and semi-concrete na unfortunately pala hindi na cleared. So, yun yung lessons learned. So, yun yung time na meron palang kalaban doon na nag-aantay lang na pag may dumaan na tropa, titirahin niya. Unfortunately, isa nga doon sa mga tinamaan ng mga kalaban na yun was yung then si late Captain Camaso, yung CEO ng 11th Scout Ranger Company. So, and then last na unforgettable na mga encounters as this time bilang isang CEO was when we were in Basilan also. Yung encounter site dito pa rin sa Sumisip. That time, it was a brigade operation under then Colonel Carlito Galvez. And yung company ko, yung 13th Scout Ranger Company, was operationally controlled by 3rd Scout Ranger Battalion under ni then Lieutenant Colonel Elmer Bicederio. So, yung nangyari naman sa amin noon was yung isang augmented na infantry battalion, yung 55th Infantry Battalion, as supposed to be the supporting effort 2, was heavily engaged nung time na yon. So that was in 2015. Heavily engaged sila to say na halos yung buong isang company nila is nawalop. So nakiya din yung company commander nila noon. And kami sa 3rd Scout Ranger Battalion we were the main effort supposed to be. Then supporting effort 1 naman yung 4th Special Forces Battalion. So nung time na yon, nung inabot na rin kami ng gabi para maka-reinforce dun sa 55th Infantry Battalion hanggang sa slowly nakuha namin yung mga casualties nila, and then we have another planning doon na sa area kung paano namin i-cleared yung mga series of mga objectives namin. And the following day, early in the morning, so tumawag yung tropa ko na nasa bilang mga forward observer, yung mga scout sniper namin na dineploy namin with the other company commanders, yung 7th Scout Ranger Company, yung 8, 9, and then yung sa akin yung 13th Scout Ranger Company. So tumawag sila sa radyo na, sir, may sighted. So meron silang na visualize na kalaban pumupunta doon sa encounter site. So siguro thinking na na pwede pa sila makarecover ng mga na left behind ng 55th Infantry Battalion na casualties. And good thing was, sabi ni then Lieutenant Colonel Soderio was parang synchronous fire. Nag-request kami ng 105, naka-prepare yung 81mm mortar ng batalyon, and then yung mga tubero namin, yung mga M203 with yung mga scout snipers. So nakikita talaga namin na yung kalaban is parang din nila alam kung saan sila magtago, kasi from time to time pag magsabi ng fire, synchronize lahat, makikita mo yung natutumba na kalaban, hilahin nila yung iba, and then kung saan sila magtago, doon na naman merong mga 105 shields doon, mga mortar shields na tumatama dun sa mga pinagtaguan nila. And yung lessons learned namin dito was, unang-una, kaya nagkaganon was, basically, na-burn out yung lakad. And yung isang infantry battalion, medyo nakikita namin na kulang din talaga sila. Hindi namin nakikita sila na masyadong nag-rehearsal, nag-ayad-ayad, unlike sa amin sa part naman ng mga scout rangers. Ang good thing naman doon, kahit papaano nakabawi kami doon sa kalaban. And then, yun nga, isa sa mga naging problema namin doon sa Basilan was, every time na ma-engage kami, merong tatawag sa CCH and sa International Monitoring Team para ceasefire, magkaroon ng ceasefire, kasi allegedly may mga MILF na involved. Pero sa part namin sa mga operating units, we were heavily dependent kung ano yung mga existing na rules pagdating naman dyan. So we were very confident enough na yung na-engage namin was mga members ng mga Abu Sayyaf group. Kasi in the first place, wala kami doon sa tinatawag nilang MILF Area of Temporary Stay. Nung story ko, at this time, about doon sa tanong kung paano ko dinadala yung tao doon during combat and mga admin na namin, na mga ginagawa. Unang-una, I believe in my personal mantra, yung keeping the faith, keep on fighting, and doon sa sinasabi nila parate na mission first and morale always. So yun yung pinapagana ko. Basically, dahil galing din ako sa mahirap, kaya nga sabi ko yung personal mantra ko is keeping the faith, dahil supposed to be I was ambitioning na maging isang doktor or maging isang architect. But then, however, dahil di nga kaya ng mga parents ko at mahirap kami, I took the entrance exam sa PMA, and fortunately naging naging isang turning point ng story ng buhay ko. So yun ang ginagawa ko doon nung ako ay naging CEO ng Ranger Company. Every after combat operation, yung ginagawa ko sa kanila is rehearse, ayad, but without compromising nung kanilang moral, no? So pag sinasabing moral, I'll make sure na yung rotation basis ng rest and recreation nila is parate, despite kung may combat operation mainan o wala, as long as hindi ma-compromise yung combat effectiveness namin. And also yung mga simpleng bodol fight namin whenever merong magbe-birthday, and mga team buildings namin na para ma-promote yung pagiging team player ng bawat isa, na hindi lang yung sarili na yung isipin. So regular namin na ginagawa yon. And pinaka-importante sa mga nasabi ko nga was yung parating pinapairal ko sa kanila, ni-remind ko sila parati na mas maganda na yung magseryoso ka during sa mga trainings rather than pagsisihan mo balang araw whenever we are in combat situation. So yung purpose nga dyan is para maging isang ma-muscle memory mo lahat. Hindi na kailangan na pag may ganitong senaryo, hindi kailangan na mag-isip ka pa ng matagal. So yung decision making mo during combat operation is magiging effective siya and efficient. At the same time, yung pagiging team player ng mga team leaders namin were na-enhance, kumbaga. So, nakikita namin yung result after in my 1 year and 6 months na stint as company commander ng 13th Scout Ranger Company. Bakit? Dahil yung company ko was being chosen as the best company for the year 2016. And prior to that, 2015, luckily, ako yung nagiging best junior officer ng 1st Scout Ranger Regiment. So, from there, siguro sabi ko, ito nga siguro yung bunga ng mga pagsisikap namin noon na kahit pagod, puyat, pero nandun pa rin kami, sama-sama. And siguro yung masasabi ko na isa sa mga accomplishment na nagawa ko bilang isang CEO ng 13th Scout Ranger Company was buo silang or 100% ko silang na hand over doon sa incoming na commanding officer. Why? Because dahil itong 13th Scout Ranger was activated nga lang, isa to sa mga bunsong unit ng 1st Scout Ranger Regiment. Ang history niya was every time may mga CEO na umupo was meron talagang kiya. Bakit? Unang-una dun sa geographical assignment as in basilan. And ilang CEO na yung umupo, bali ako yung, I think I was the 4th commanding officer ng fifth. I was the 5th commanding officer ng 13th Scout Ranger Company, and yung mga deployments namin was in Basilan, Maguindanao, Lanao, balik na Basilan, and then Sulu. But to think na wala ni isa sa kanila yung nakiya was more than enough para masabi kong mission accomplished ako bilang isang commanding officer. And this time gusto ko naman i-share yung mga experiences ko, both yung mga masasaya, malulungkot, experiences ko while on training, and lastly kung ano yung masasabi ko dun sa mga kabataan natin ngayon. So unang-una dun sa mga experiences ko, dun sa mga masasayang alaala, nabanggit ko nga kanina na walang ibang nakapagpasaya sa isang CEO, sa isang commanding officer, but yung makita mo yung tropa mo na buo kayong umalis sa kumpanya before operation and buo rin kayo nakakabalik. And nagawa ko yon. So I should say na yan ang pinakamasayang nangyari sa buhay ko bilang isang field junior grade officer. And sa mga malulungkot na mga karanasan ko, experiences sa field, again, worst was when yung upper class na tinuturing kong isang kuya na si late Captain Camaso of KME Class 2005 was killed in action when I was the operation officer. So parang biniblame ko, but ganun talaga ang buhay sundalo. Di mo masasabi kung hanggang kailan lang yung buhay natin in general. So pangit lang siya sa part ko dahil ako pa nung time ko pa na ako yung nagiging operations officer na nangyari yon. But however, I know na the late Captain Camaso was doing his job for our country, para sa bansa natin, and in protecting nung kung ano ang dapat na protektahan, which is yung safety and security ng mga Basileños that time. And third was yung mga experiences ko while on training. So meron akong experiences one time na while we were in combat maneuver Kuting, somewhere in Bulacan area pa rin. Unfortunately, nahulog ako sa isang ravine. So as a description, so yung ravine na yan parang 80% slope siya na sa baba is yung mga malalaki at matutulis na mga bato. And kagandahan nun, nung pagkahulog ko, sumabit ako sa isang sanga, maliit na sanga lang, mas maliit pa dito. Parang nahati yung backpack ko and yung katawan ko. So kung ito yung sanga, dito yung katawan ko, and dito yung backpack. And yung ginawa ng mga team leaders ko, hinulugan na lang ako, ng mga team members ko, hinulugan na lang ako ng lubid, yung utility ropes namin para ma-recover ako dun sa baba. So, kaya ako masasabi na ito ay isang memorable is, siguro kung time ko na, during that time pa lang siguro wala na ako, kung tuloy-tuloy akong nahulog. And, I am very fortunate lang dun sa mga ka-team ko na kahit paano hindi nila ako pinabayaan. So, nandun din yung pagiging isang team na tulong-tulong sila paano ako i-revive dun sa baba, dun sa bangin. So, yun. And then lastly, kung ano yung maging message ko sa mga kabataan, unang-una, it is very high time na siguro kayong mga kabataan, to think farther paano magserbisyo sa bayan, lalo na sa mga nangyari ngayon, yung mga bullying ng China. And para mapa-prove niyan, why not join the Armed Forces of the Philippines, particularly the Philippine Army. So, sabi ko nga sa inyo, ako, during nung kabataan ko, I was dreaming of to become a doctor or an architect. But then, nag-iba yung nangyari sa buhay ko. So, ito na ako ngayon, isang ganap na Philippine Army officer. And kung kaya ko na magserbisyo sa bayan, na kahit yung mga magulang ko is walang pinag-aralan, so bakit kayo hindi?